Catholic War veterans, Knights of Columbus, it is not, I'm not held by not asking my other brothers in these organizations to contribute to helping homeless veterans because that's basically what they do. Matter of fact, the not Knights of Columbus, the Catholic War veterans are having a stand down right here of where they're going to be helping homeless veterans get off the street. And that's an organization that I'm a member of also.
Is there something other than money that you need desperately?
Well, there's several things that we wind up needing. If you get money, you can wind up turning that into houses. One of the things that veterans need the most is birth certificates, IDs, because once they can get their ID, they then can go out and get employment, and then you can work on them getting housing and so on and so forth. So you don't necessarily need cash, but you have to have beds, you have to have IDs, you have to have birth certificates. Those are the things that the veterans need, the most. And if you have money, then you can purchase those things because a lot of the states do not want to give these things away for free.
So the state of Nevada won't give you a driver's license without money?
No, they won't, but more importantly, you can't get a driver's license unless you have your birth certificate, and you can't get your birth certificate unless you pay your county seat the money to give you the copy from the hospital. So, and plus, we're working to get some kind of relationship with DMV so that we can have a way of getting the IDs, because I think it's like $12, $13 to get your ID. So we're working with an arrangement for that. The big problem here, probably that doesn't happen in other places, is you really don't want to give anybody cash in Las Vegas because of the obvious reason of where it's could wind up. So you're trying to make arrangements with organizations to give you like vouchers in order so individuals can get what they say they need rather than taking it and maybe putting it in a slot machine.
If you had volunteers to babysit them, that would help you as well?
Yes, but you're never going to have enough volunteers.
Some is better than what you have right now.
Yes.
When you look at the problem of homelessness that you've been working on now for a decade and a half, more, almost 2 decades, and you see the problem only worsening, what do you think?
A little bit worried about where is it going to end, and the face of homelessness has changed. It used to be that we were talking mainly about single men who either because of mental illness, substance abuse, gambling, or something of this nature, they became homeless. Now you're seeing whole families that are homeless because of the downturn in the economy. Now you're seeing individuals who have advanced degrees that are homeless because there aren't any jobs. You realize, you probably heard on the news that North Las Vegas is in a crisis and they're laying off firemen and police. Those were the sacrosanct jobs, a decade or two ago. I never heard of anybody laying off firemen, but you're talking about laying off firemen and police officers. Clark County was letting go social workers. These are the people that are there to help the disenfranchised, and you're laying them off. So I'm seeing it shift.
So what do you think? What do you feel?
Desperation. But you can't get mired in sadness, because if you do that, then you're not able to help the individuals that are going to be coming through the door. So you have to take care of yourself so that you'll be able to take care of others.
If you were given $1 billion, what would you do with it?
I would set up a foundation that could help homeless veterans get off the street by creating more beds and more self-sufficiency programs, and have it arranged so that the money would be reinvested, I guess, 53, well, a nonprofit similar to like the Salvation Army or Catholic Charities, where we could wind up having a place where individuals could get back on their feet and that it would be a self-sustaining situation.
Meaning that the participants would repay the money.
Not so much that they would repay the money, but they would be working for the organization to help others get off without necessarily cash payments of it, of its kind. Something along those lines. I've thought about this every now and then. If you had the money, what would you do? And that's where I would form a nonprofit foundation. Maybe have a chain of foundations. $1 billion is a lot of money. You could probably make several of those.
Not so much.
Well,
Billions, not so much.
well, I don't know.
When
I've never come close to having $1 billion. So
Well, me either. But when you look at when you compare it to the size of the problem, $1 billion is not so much.
yeah, probably not.
I mean,
But
it might seem like a lot in Las Vegas or even the state of Nevada.
Well,
But $1 billion, if you add on California and Arizona and
no.
Oregon and Washington, $1 billion's not so much anymore.
actually, I wasn't even thinking about all of Nevada. I was just thinking of Clark County.
Well, Clark County is almost all of Nevada. So let's be honest.
Yeah.
With this. If someone watching this video wanted to help the problem, be a solution rather than the problem. Remember when we were kids? If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
If someone wants to be part of the solution, what would you tell them to do?
Donate money to organizations that help us help veterans. Lutheran Family Services, Knights of Columbus, Catholic War Veterans, Jewish War Veterans, Family Promise, or you could send money directly to the CBOC HCHV project. It has to be there specifically so we can then give veterans some of the things that they need or buy the things for them. McDonald's coupons, bus passes. Transportation is one of the main things because you can't get from point A to point B to make appointments unless you've got a bus pass because things are so far flung here. And bus passes are very expensive. Those are the things that we could have them do.
If someone had more time than money, what would you say?
Well, I would say volunteer for some of those organizations, or they could volunteer through volunteer services at the VA to see where they could best be served to help the veterans. There's going to, when they open the super clinics that are going to be in the 4 quadrants, I understand, in Las Vegas, they're going to need a lot of volunteer participation. But all of those have to go through volunteer services. And then they decide where they go.
What spiritual practices do you follow? Other than going to Mass?
Going to Mass, serving the Eucharist, reading the Scriptures, trying to understand more what God's plan is for me because I don't know what that is yet. You know, I keep being pulled in certain directions, and I don't know if that's what I'd be best at.
You say that you want to know what God's will for you is. What do you do to try and find that out?
Pray.
Describe that, please.
Pray for understanding, pray for more knowledge, search what is my purpose in doing all of this. One of the things, which is I shouldn't say, it's not a fear so much as that I feel myself being drawn closer and closer to the clergy. And I don't know if I really want to do that or not. So, but I don't know if that's a calling or is that a drift. I don't know. So
Are you single?
yes. I don't necessarily want to be that way forever.
To me, though, it seems quite problematic because how can a celibate, a lifetime celibate clergy person advise me in my marriage or in the raising of my children?
I've heard that too, but not all the great football coaches have always been football players.
No, they've all been football players. They may not have been great football players, but they were all football
Okay.
players. Okay. I'm going to give you an opportunity now.
Ooh, that's frightening.
It is.
Okay.
You should be frightened. You shouldn't be frightened. You should be frightened.
Okay.
I would say it's awesome more than scary.
Okay.
Right now, on the other side of this camera, is the entirety of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
All 6.5 billion of us. What would you say to us if you could speak to all of us now?
Help veterans. They need it. They deserve it.